Great day, everyone! Welcome to another episode of Nourish to Flourish, where we empower you to nourish your body so you can flourish holistically. I am Leslie, the co founder of The Playground PH, and a mom to a 10-year-old beautiful daughter. And of course, together with us, registered nutritionist dietitian, Coach Mary Rose Del Rio, who will be introducing to us our guest, making this episode extra special.
Yes. So, indeed, extra special talaga ang ating next episode. Apart from we have Miss Leslie and our dear guest speaker for this episode, very relevant ang ating topic because of course, no, maraming mga batang Pilipino ang kailangan nating mas palakasin, patibayin for a much healthier and productive Philippines.
Right.
So, on our fifth episode, it's something that again in line with our DOH calendar because we are celebrating the National Children's Month. Ayan. So, kaway-kaway ang may mga kids at home
Yes.
and kids at heart pwede rin. Ayan. So, introduce ko na yung ating guest
Yes,
speaker
we're very
because
much
marami
excited.
tayong mga exciting topics that I'm sure yung mga parents, guardians, no, would like to know in order to optimize their children's health. So, medyo bigatin yung ano talaga na, di pala medyo talagang, bigatin at pride ng Batangas itong ating guest
That's
speaker
right.
because her pre-med is biology from Ateneo.
The
Tama ba?
Ateneo.
Tama ba yung pronunciation? Ateneo de Manila University. And she also pursued Doctor of Medicine and take note with Master of Business Administration. So
Awesome.
dual degree po ito, mga momshies. Ayan. So she had her internship at Hospital ng Makati and the Medical City, Ortigas. Had her postgraduate training at pediatric residency at Hospital ng Makati. Currently, she is an active consultant at Metro Lipa Medical Center, Metro San Jose Medical Center, a visiting consultant at St. Gerard General Hospital, Rosario, Batangas. Ayan, yung mga taga Rosario, no? Also, she has clinic affiliations in MDMD Hub, Chemtech Laboratory and Diagnostics in Marawi, Lipa City, and also in StanMed Diagnostics and Medical Clinic in Bayview Homes, Lipa. Kaya I'm sure, no, marami sa mga taga Lipa and Batangas ang for sure kilala na si Doc. So let's welcome Dr. Noren Ann Matibag Lubis.
Hello. Welcome.
Welcome, Dr. Nourish to Flourish
Yeah.
PH.
Yes,
Shota.
and welcome
Thank
to
you
the
for
playground.
welcome.
Yes. So, Doc, greet our
Ayan. So,
viewers.
hello. Good day to everyone. Especially sa mga mommies out there. So, this is the perfect venue for us for today. Alright.
Yeah, that's why I'm here in this podcast
Yeah.
instead of my partner Dennis because I will be representing all the moms out there. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so very exciting, no? Because I'm sure mas maraming mga moms and parents, guardians ang makaka-relate for our episode. Okay, so let's jump into our very first question. And kayo guys, kung may mga questions din kayo, feel free to comment in any of our social media platforms. We are already present in YouTube, Spotify, and of course sa mga shorts natin dyan.
Right.
Alright, so Doc, we would like to get to know you,
Okay.
syempre.
Yes.
Diba? Bilang second, guest speaker here in our
okay.
podcast.
Alright.
So, why biology and why choose pediatrics as your specialization?
Okay. So, yung sa course ko, so I took BS Bio. Actually, hindi yun yung first course ko. So, nung nag-decide ako mag-Ateneo, kasi diba, pag Ateneo, mas known siya sa mga business management
Yes.
courses, sa law, ganyan. So, nung nag-apply ako, actually, I wrote there sa application form, legal management.
Wow.
Although I don't know what's legal management is. So sige, nag-apply. Tapos I was applying that time kasi for financial scholarship. So natanggap ako. And then sige, ayan, legal management. After ng first year, magsa-second year first time, oh my God, legal management, may accounting, may finance, may obligations and contracts. Sabi ko, ano tong ginagawa ko? So that time, parang since high school kasi, alam ko na may calling yung science sa akin. So sabi ko, hindi ito yung way ko eh. Siguro, it's a blessing that time na nakapasok ako sa Ateneo. Pero ginrab ko pa rin yung other way na sumunod dun sa calling. Sabi ko, hindi I want to go into science talaga. And that time, nag-decide ako, magdo-doctor ako. Gusto ko talagang pumasok na med school. So that time, nag-shift ako to biology. Kasi Ateneo, ang mga sciences courses niya noon, mga chemistry, bio, ganyan. So, I took bio. Kasi sabi ko, it's one of the closest na kung magja-jump ako into med school. So there, nakatapos naman ako, on time naman, and then, diretsong residency. So, after the college, med school first pala. Med school, ano pa yon, papasok ka sa med school, alam mo magda-doktor ka, pero hindi mo alam anong specialty, saan ka pupunta after. Nung during the 4th year ng med school, we go into rotations kasi. Doon namin mafe-feel ano bang gusto mo, anong gagawin mo, ganyan. First, akala ko mag-OB ako. Parang sa batch namin, yung personality ko daw, fierce, ganyan, no, strong woman, ganyan. Akala ko mag-OB ako. Pero nung nasa rotation na, I realized na, it's the baby pala, not the mother, yung calling ko. Tapos yung dumating na lang sa point na kapag doon yung rotation, kapag pagod ako, baliwala yung pagod. Pag bata yung kausap mo, pag bata yung hinahandle mo. So, hindi siya nakapagod for me. Parang parati siyang masaya for me. Kaya ayun, nagdiretso ako after med school, nagdiretso ako residency to take pediatric residency. There.
And I can feel the vibes.
Yeah.
Kaya
So
si
I
Doc
have a
Bagat-
question. Are you the first doctor in the family?
Yes, first
Wow.
doctor in the family.
So really calling talaga yan for
Calling
you.
talaga siya. Tsaka major decision siya noon kasi nga, unang-una ang concern namin noon. Concern ko noon financially talaga. Kasi being the first doctor in the family, wala ako yung mamanahin na practice, wala ako yung saan ako pupunta after, makatapos man ako, ganyan. So, pero blessing pa rin na sinundan ko lang yung calling. Tapos gagawa ng paraan yung lahat. Para magko-connive, kumbaga yung
Amen.
universe,
Universe.
para dalhin ka doon.
Yes.
Oo. There.
Alright, simula pa lang inspiring na yung
Actually, I would
conversation
remember,
natin.
we had a good relationship with our pediatrician when we were kids.
Yeah.
So, tuwing pupunta kami sa clinic, yan, may mga candies, hindi
Yes,
nawawala.
oo.
And I think yung personality mo, Doc, bagay siya sa
Yung
pagiging pediatrician.
inviting talaga sa kids.
Oo.
Yun. Parang yun,
Hindi sila
kasama yun sa,
matatakot. Feeling
kasama
ko kung
yun
ako yung
sa
bata.
naging ko noon, parang decision factors ko na alam ko kasi na I have the charm, na
Yes.
alam kong,
Affirming.
oo, and yung inviting sa kids na So, it's a blessing.
So I was telling doctor kanina na yung face niya kasi mukha din siyang bata, you know. So kaya ganun yung charm din niya sa mga kids. But also bagay ka din na OB. OBGYN.
Pwede rin. So, parehas nga eh. So,
Yeah.
How about sa mga kids mo, Miss Leslie? Like, how are you with their pedia when they were younger? Pare-pareho ba sila ng pediatrician?
I have one kid, right? A daughter, 10 years old. So, I think we started with a male pedia before, growing up, and until,
A male?
oo, a male pedia.
okay.
So, kasi parang, before we were in Manila, and then we moved here in Batangas. So, that's when I was introduced to this pedia. So, okay naman. But, yeah, I was introduced to another pedia na eventually naging friend ko. I'm so lucky to have her as my pediatrician.
Yeah.
She's my friend, my really close friend. So, anytime na meron akong kailangan with Isabella sa lahat ng mga medical niya. So, my doctor is my friend. So, I really love it.
It's important ha. Your doctor, your pediatrician is your friend.
Yes.
So, sobrang dun magsa-start eh.
She's really a blessing to our lives. So, yeah. There.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talaga bang okay yun, Doc, na parang, for example, even outside of clinic hours, you really give your contact details to the kids?
Yeah,
May
ako,
mga questions?
iba-iba yan eh. Iba-ibang
setup?
klaseng doctors. Yung iba ayaw, yung iba may limit, no?
Oo.
Ako naman, I give, actually, personal messenger ko yung binibigay ko. Pero syempre, to a certain limit. Kasi, ang minsang kalaban namin doon kapag emergency cases
Yes.
kasi
Right.
eh. So, ako, may patients, alam nila na message nila ako, Dok, asan ka? Kailan ka magki-clinic? Kunyari, yung mga questions na alam ko na manageable naman, nasagutin ko sa messenger. Pero pag emergency, alam nila yan. I always make sure na yung relationship namin outside the hospital, meron tayong laging agreement na, pero pag emergency cases, pag need urgent care, you have to go to the emergency room. Hindi mo ko aantayin mag-reply.
Correct.
So yun, so I think for me it's okay na outside the clinic setup, meron pa rin, marireach ka pa rin nila, pero to a certain limit.
Right.
Yan.
And how many years, Doc, have you been a pediatrician?
I graduated from residency 2019, start ng 2019, nagsa-start na akong mag-practice as pediatrician. So, 2019, I started as associate consultant. And then, siguro magto 2 years na, nag-decide ako na private na talaga. Yan. So, ilang taon na yun? 19, 20, 26, mga 6 years.
Over that years, Doc, ano usually yung mga health challenges ng mga kids, let's say, before and after pandemic na nanotice mo? Meron ka bang nanotice these days na parang hindi naman to na usually, problema noon, biglang meron ng mga ganito
Yeah,
ngayon?
actually madami. Isa ako dun sa mga doctors na talagang, nung natapos kami ng residency training, sakto pandemic, nung lumabas kami ng residency training. Imagine 2019, alis ako dun sa residency training ko ng January ako nagpaalam doon. And then March, pandemic, 'di ba? So, hindi ko man lang naranasan yung private practice na na dire-diretso talaga. So, pagdating ng March, pandemic. And then those time I spent most of my times inside the hospital as an associate consultant, ganyan. So, kulong naranasan ko noon 4 days, 5 days nasa hospital ako, nakikita ko lang pa isa-isang patients kasi nakakulong yung mga bata. Hindi sila lumalabas, 'di ba? Walang mga face-to-face calls, walang malls, 'di ba? After nung pandemic, nung nagsa-start ng mag-open up, nakakalabas na ganyan, isa sa mga challenge, actually 3 yung na-identify ko. Isa sa mga challenges, first yung growth, developmental, behavioral, specifically the language, development, sobrang apektado siya after
Age
the
range, Doc,
pandemic.
do you have like?
Mostly less than 5 years old siya.
Okay.
Alright? And then, second, yung mga common diseases na in the past, nandiyan naman, ubosipon, nagtatay, nagsusuka. Pero after nung pandemic, nagulat kami doon sa, yung sinasabi nga namin na humina talaga yung resistensya ng mga bata. In terms of ubosipon,
Mas matagal.
mas matagal.
Right,
And mas
right.
mayat-maya.
Mas mayat-maya.
Parang every 2 weeks nandito
hindi
sila.
I would
Magaling.
agree, yes.
Oo. Kasi ano ba nangyari noon? Kasi nakakulong sila sa bahay. Wala, nasa bahay sila ganyan. Wala sila masyadong interaction sa mga tao, ganyan. Pati yung microflora nila sa katawan nila, natahimik, no? So parang akala nila malinis.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Bigla silang ginulantang.
Oo,
Surprise!
pagtaas ng pandemic, naglabasan sila, naglaro sila, nag-school sila. Uy, na-surprise ang mga resistensya ng mga bata, 'di ba? So, pati yung mga ubot-sipon nila sobrang OA, sobrang nila, ang bilis sila magkasakit, no? And third, nandiyan pa rin, hindi talaga nawala yung issues on growth and stunting. Malnutrition. And papasok doon, kasi pag sinabi malnutrition, kala pag maliit lang yung bata, ganyan, no, payat. Pero malnourishment, part pa rin yun yung obesity.
Correct.
Oo, di ba?
Yes.
Yung malalaking mga bata na malnourished pa rin naman pala sila. So yun, those 3 challenges talaga na encounter namin, mostly talaga in the clinic after pandemic.
Ayan. So, let's hear from our mom, Shi. Alin doon yung sa tingin nyo? Let's say, not just from your kid, but from your circle din. I'm sure
Okay.
marami kayong mga friends din.
I think, number one, I would agree dun sa sinabi niya na yung behavioral, yung parang late yung development ng mga bata. Kasi, as what I observed sa mga friends ko or sa mga kakilala, actually, dumadami yung cases ng autism sa mga kids these days.
Totoo
So,
yan.
parang, I think in our generation, we don't have much of
Yeah.
that. But
Yes.
recently, parang, for every, let's say, 5 moms na mamimit ko, 2 out of 5 merong may case na yung anak nila is autistic, di ba? And then, ayun, so yung speech development din, so I agree na parang siguro yung effect din ng pandemic na nakulong sila, they're stuck with their gadgets and all that, malaki talaga yung effect
Yeah.
in their behaviors and development.
What's the age, Miss Lassie, of your child?
10 years old siya ngayon. So, ano din siya, syempre, naabutan niya yung peak ng pandemic. She was like, I think, 4 years old. 4 years old, kakapasok lang niya. I think, siya, senior kinder or grade 1. So, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, she was stuck at home.
Yes.
Kasi, siya, so, gadget lang talaga, everything. But, ayun, so, but thankfully,
Buti na lang brainy ang parents.
okay naman yung kanyang development. And kasi nga, before pandemic naman, she was in school, tapos okay naman yung kanyang social with friends and everything. So, yun. And then second, siguro, yes, I agree because based from my experience, yung every 2 weeks talagang may ubo, may
Yeah,
sipon, may
oo.
lagnat. And parang, as a mom, magtataka ka anong maling ginawa ko?
Yeah,
Saan kami nagpunta na nakuha niya yung bacteria or yung virus? Kasi parang, all this time, alam ko, malinis kami, Parang pandemic, nasanay tayo na alcohol everywhere, wash your hands. I always remind her to do that. Vitamins, tapos drink water. So, lahat ng mga necessity or essentials. But still, nakakasakit pa rin. Siguro parang nagiging cycle na lang siya. And I don't want to accept it as a cycle lang, no? So parang we have to do something about it, right?
Amen. Proactive tayo.
Yes. And then the last part would be malnutrition, no? Yeah, I agree. Especially mga bata, ang hirap nilang pakainin. So, struggle ko yan every day. Anong ipapabaon sa school? Ano yung healthy options na pwede kong ibigay sa kanila na ayoko naman silang i-restrict into eating what's delicious at kung ano yung craving nila, but also I don't want to feed them with too much chemicals or alam mo yun, yung makaka-damage sa kanila and would lead to obesity or malnourishment. So, yeah.
To add din pala, no, yung doon sa mga diseases, isa pala na encounter naming problems. Nung pandemic kasi, since nakakulong nga yung mga tao, yung mga bata, nagkaroon ng parang vaccine scare, or kung hindi man vaccine scare, nag-lost to follow-up kasi yung mga tao sa vaccinations. Kaya, if you would remember, after the pandemic, nag-okay tayo kay COVID, pero tumaas yung pertussis na case, yung whooping cough.
Yes.
Kasi yung pertussis, nandun siya sa tinatawag naming pentavalent or 6-in-1 vaccines na important sa first year of life.
Ayan.
And nung time na yon, ang daming hindi nagpabakuna ng mga bata.
Okay.
So, kaya for the past years, pinroblema natin siya. Nagtaasan yung pertussis.
Cases.
Oo. It's pertussis, it's a whooping cough na it's deadly.
I
Talaga
think
siya.
at some point na balita
Nabalita
siya na
siya.
outbreak siya, di ba?
So,
Outbreak
ano
ba?
siya,
Wala talaga.
naging root cause pa rin yan nung pandemic na dumaan. So, kaya nga nowadays, talagang isa sa mga priorities namin sa clinic, lalo na kami pediatrician, na ibalik talaga yung trust and at the same time, yung routine nila na follow-up for vaccinations. Here naman in the Philippines, we have vaccinations offered sa health center. Yung mga wala sa health center, you can get it from your pediatrician.
So, Doc, sorry, I have a question. Yung hindi sila nagpa-vaccine, was it because they're scared of the vaccine or dahil natakot lang silang lumabas at that time na
Actually,
uso yung
parehas
COVID?
na siya. Parehas na siya. Natakot silang lumabas kasi nga ayaw nilang ma-expose
Ma-expose sa
tao at the
hospital,
same time. Tapos, nung time pang yun, di ba, naglalabasan yung manufacturing ng bagong COVID vaccine. So, parang kino-question tuloy nila paano ginawa yung ibang vaccines. ganyan.
Correlate nila.
Oo.
I think alongside with that, may Dengvaxia pa na issue,
Yeah,
di
oo,
ba?
na few years ago, nagkaroon din sila ng problem with that.
Yeah, best talaga to talk with someone para magkaroon ng clarity and understanding. Okay.
So, this is a very important reminder na kailangan maka-keep up and catch up tayo dun sa mga vaccines, especially ng mga bata. Which lead me to my question, ano ba yung mga talagang essential vaccines
Yan.
from
Alright,
newborn?
okay. So, here in the Philippines, meron tayong tinatawag na expanded program of immunizations. Fortunately, luckily for us, like yung ini-emphasize sa mga parents na we have free vaccines in the center. Itong EPI program na to, actually nag-start siya matagal na 1976 pa siya. Minake sure ng government na may makukuha tayong vaccines na libre dun sa mga common deadly diseases na are preventable. Ano yung mga yon? Nag-start tayo sa BCG, yung mga peklat, yung nag-create ng
Dito.
peklat,
Oo, yes.
yun, di ba dati
Yes.
sa puwet, ngayon sa braso na siya. So, that's your BCG. So, pwede natin siya makuha sa center. Second, yung hepatitis B, okay? Third, meron kami tinatawag na pentavalent vaccines. Sa pedya, it's 6-in-1. So, nandun,
6-in-1.
yeah, okay. Sa health centers, kaya siya pentavalent, it consists of 5 vaccines. The hepatitis B, yung follow-up nung nakuha ng birth dose, the DPT, diphtheria, the pertussis, yung pertussis
So kasama na siya
nandun
talaga.
siya.
Oo.
Tetanus, okay? And then the Hib, isa siyang cause, Haemophilus influenza, isa siyang cause ng bacterial pneumonia. Okay? So, yun, 3 doses yun sa bata, buwan-buwan halos yun, bago siya mag 6 months, di ba? Makukuha siya sa center, alright? Kung hindi, sa private pedya. And then after that, yung mga measles vaccines, part din siya ng EPI natin, pati yung kapag later age, yung mga tetanus, diphtheria, toxoid vaccines. Fortunately, noong 2014, si pneumonia vaccines na ipasok na rin sa EPI. Kasi for the longest time before, libre yung ibang vaccines, pero itong si pneumonia, mahal kasi talaga siya kung kukunin sa private pedya.
Like how much, Doc?
Range
Para may
4
idea
to
ang
5K
ating
in a private clinic, okay?
One shot lang siya or may ulit?
Hindi siya ulit siya eh. Kasabay siya nung pentavalent vaccine na every month for 3 consecutive
Yung
doses
ba yung
bago mag 6 dose.
pneumococcal? Tama ba?
Yeah, it's the pneumococcal vaccine.
Galing ni
Yes.
Mom Shi.
Come
So,
on!
talaga ano siya, updated yung sa kanyang pedya. So, yun, buti na lang, starting 2014, no, naipasok na siya. So, malaking help siya. Kasi nga naman, pneumonia, isa siya sa laging top 5 causes of morbidity dito sa Philippines and worldwide. So, yun. So, those are the forefront vaccine natin na important. Pero, syempre, ako, in my clinic, I always educate my parents na the vaccines won't stop at 1-year-old. Kasi yung EPI natin, mostly nagsastop lang 1-year-old. Kasi, meron pa siyang mga booster and catch-up immunizations later on para ma-make sure natin na protected yung mga bata. Why is it important? Minsan kasi ako, nararanasan ko sa practice ko na yung mga iba na talagang wala sa center kukuha sa'yo pero financially medyo hirap sila, no? Pero minsan natutuwa ako kasi merong ibang parents nagvo-volunteer na sa'kin, Doktora, pupuhunanan ko na to kaysa sa ma-admit yung pasyente ko, which is true.
Mas mahal.
Kasi by practice, I experienced na yung mga pasyente ko na constant follow-up na alaga ng vaccine, sila yung makikita ko sa clinic na ang visit namin, vaccine lang, check-up
Right.
lang, no? Magkasakit, magkaubo. Minsan, Doktora, nagkaubo siya last week, pero okay na. Hindi na siya nag-check-up sa akin kasi mild. Versus dun sa mga iba na hindi talaga follow-up yung vaccines nila. Sila yung mayat maya may ubo, may sipon, no? So, pero alam mo, sumusunod sila. You educate them lang, you explain to them, you show them the list of the vaccines, napapaghandaan nila, basta alam nila na important yun.
Okay, but when you missed the vaccine when you were like younger o baby,
Yeah.
pwede mo pa ba siyang kuhanin
Yeah,
as a...
oo.
Very good question.
Meron
as a
siya.
young-
Okay.
Sa amin, sa pedya, sa clinic, meron kaming mga vaccination principles. Meron kaming, meron kaming mga guidelines yun na, uy, na-miss niya to. Kaya ang number 1 step namin, Doktora, 10 years old na, maghahabol kami ng vaccine. First step namin dyan, meron ka bang record?
Record, yeah.
Kasi re-review namin yan. Kasi we have ways na mahabol. Meron doon na, ay, hindi na, pero
Ano
meron
kung wala,
na.
Doc, record?
We also have, a rule doon sa vaccination
Okay.
principle namin na pag talagang walang record, we assume na wala.
Wala.
Okay.
Oo. So, ibibigay
Yeah.
namin siya kung paano dapat. Okay?
Okay.
So,
Ano yung pinaka-late age na pwedeng yun, habol yung vaccine
actually,
na yun?
vaccination is continuous. Sa amin sa pedya hanggang 16. Pero pag na-transition sa adult at may kulang, no, pwede, for example, meron kami mga patients, 20, 21, 22 years old, mga pre-employment or sa school, wala pang bakuna sa tigdas, varicella or Hep B, we can still give it. So, may ways naman para mahabol siya.
Nice.
Okay.
That's good to know. And what a relief din sa mga moms
Oo.
dyan na nakamiss ng mga vaccines sa mga anak nila na pwede pa naman pala. May
Yes.
Now you know.
chance pa.
Kaya tune in kayo. Keep on watching until the end of this video.
Those are the questions na hindi ko natanong ever. Pero parang na-realize ko, nga, pwede ba yung habulin
Yeah,
nga?
oo.
Thanks.
Grabe,
Good to know
daming
that.
learning.
Good to know that.
O, diba, bongga?
Ay, introduction pala.
We're just warming
Okay,
up.
alright,
actually.
okay.
Dami na agad learnings. Oh my gosh. So, Doc, talking about yung mga health problems natin. Kasi, di ba, syempre, may mga cases na nakakalagnat yung mga bata. How do you differentiate yung fever na pwedeng, alam mo yun, sa bahay lang, bimpo-bimpo lang,
yeah.
I
ganyan.
like that question.
Or yung talagang kailangan ng isugod. Ano yung kailangan
Okay.
na i-observe ng isang parent or
Alright.
guardian?
Okay. So, yung fever kasi, yun yung basic na temperature, mainit. Minsan nga, may mga cases na, Doktora, may lagnat siya pero walang temperature, pero mainit. So, hindi namin yun babaliwalain na porket walang temperature. Pero alam nung mommy na, uy, may lagnat siya. And the best na magsasabi talaga sa'yo na may lagnat siya or wala, may thermometer or wala, yung mommy, yung caretaker talaga, okay? Pero ako, I always tell myself and the parents na fever is just one parameter, all right? You have to look at the child as a whole, holistically na, okay, may lagnat siya. Papasok sa clinic, sabihin ng secretary, Doktora, may lagnat siya. Pero pagpasok sa clinic, okay, nakasmile, naglalaro.
Masigla naman yung
masigla, hydrated, versus, Doktora, may lagnat siya, pero pagpasok pa lang sa clinic, iyak ng iyak, irritable. And then by history, yung difference na, Doktora, may lagnat siya, pero kumakain. Versus, Doktora, may lagnat siya, hindi namin siya mapakain. So, doon papasok yung fever na worrisome and fever na benign or kaya sa bahay, okay? So, kung minsan kasi, ang maling iniisip na, pag sobrang taas ng fever, ay, bacteria yan, antibiotics yan. Pero, when true enough naman yung mga viral infections, nagma-manifest din sila ng high grade. Pero kasi depende sa immune system ng bata, depende dun sa disposition ng bata. So yun, kapag merong mga bata na hindi talaga makakain, kaya pala hindi bumababa ang lagnat, dehydrated na, hindi umiinom. So I advise na, okay, mommy, bring the baby to the emergency room. Mommy, let's admit muna, let's hydrate the patient, okay? Pero yung mga bata na alam mo, uy, naglalaro naman, ganyan. So, i-assure mo yung mommy na fever control tayo with the medication, hydrate the patient, and we always educate the patient na uwi ka ngayon kasi nothing to worry, pero these are the warning signs. Ito yung mga associated symptoms or signs na ay hindi lang to lagnat, dalhin na natin sa ER yung patient. There.
How about yung practice, Doc, na di uminit yung bata, tapos agad-agad bibigyan na ng tempra, o yung ganyan.
Okay. The paracetamol naman, yung mga antipyretics, are indicated naman talaga if the temperature will be 37.8 pataas, no? Minsan may sinasabi na CNAT, ganyan, yung mga, doktora may lagnat, pero 37 to 37.5. Minsan ako, I would advise, lalo na kung up and about naman yung bata, you can use Bimpo muna. You can take a bath.
So, pwedeng hindi agad-agad yung mga ganon?
Yeah, unless talagang tagta 37.8, you can give it naman.
Okay.
No, oo. So, you can
even
give oral
without seeing yet
medications.
the pedia, parang first aid.
Yeah, pwede. Sa first aid.
Okay,
Oo.
okay.
Pero syempre, ako lagi, yun yung lagi kong disclaimer sa phone eh. Okay, magsabi ako ng first aid mong gagawin, but I'll see you tomorrow at the clinic. I'll see you
Tama.
this schedule.
Para ma-monitor,
Kasi
evaluation.
kailangan ko pa rin makita yung
Correct,
bata.
right.
At anong source?
Correct.
Mag-iiba kasi,
Ma-assess
fever
minds.
lang siya, pero by history taking, alamin mo, bakit ba siya naglalagnat? Nag-uubo sipon ba siya? Nagtatai ba siya? Ganyan, dehydrated lang ba siya? There.
Nice.
Yun.
Can you remember, Miss Leslie, the
A
last
lot of
time?
times, actually. No, just to share, ako meron din kasi akong practice na, actually kami dalawa ni Dennis, na parang observe muna din namin yung anak namin. For example, naglagnat siya ngayon. So, normally, hindi ko muna i-message yung doctor friend ko. Kasi, of course, I'd like to set pa rin boundary na hindi naman agad-agad nilagnat lang, i-message ko na siya dahil friend ko siya, di ba? So, I'm observing our daughter kung okay ba, masigla ba. Yun ang number one eh, na kung masigla ba siya. Nilalagnat siya, inuubo siya, sinisipon siya. Pero masigla naman, kumakain naman, naglalaro pa rin and all that. So, ino-observe ko siya in like 2 to 3 days. Siyempre, continuous monitoring ng temperature, ganyan. And then, once na parang hindi nag-i-improve, though I always give na kaagad yung paracetamol, pag hindi nag-i-improve talagang on and off, that's the time that I will consult my pediatrician and ask what could be the next step. Kasi ako naniniwala ako na the lagnat is not the sakit itself,
Yeah.
di ba? Lagnat is just that may underlying condition ka inside an infection going on
Sanay na
inside your
sanay
body.
talaga siya.
So, ayun. So, I think it's good naman that my doctors, I think you really practice that na talagang kailangan lahat ng mga test para ma-rule out kung ano
Yeah.
yan. So, very common yung CBC, yung mga urinalysis and all that, especially pag nilalagnat. Ayun, so far, I'm grateful na wala namang major, confinement or hindi naman na-admit pa yung daughter ko for like a condition. Pero yun nga, lagnat, sipon, ubo, which is I think common nga since yung minention ni doctor kanina na ano sa mga kids ngayon. But there, that's my practice. So, also yung paliligo ng malamig. Tama ba yun, Doc, na maliligo ng malamig pagka
Kami,
nilalagnat?
we advise taking a bath, pero quick warm bath. Kasi
Warm.
pag sobrang lamig,
Yeah.
no? Oo. So, it's okay. Quick warm bath is okay. Kasi dito, ang mga challenges na encounter namin, yung hindi nila pinapaliguan. Nung bata tayo, aminin nyo, di ba? Ayaw tayong paliguan kapag
Right.
may lagnat tayo. Pero nowadays, we recommend quick warm bath para mas presko.
That's
Oo,
right.
mas comfortable yung bata.
So, ang practice ko din kasi, correct me kung mali yung practice ko, na pag kunwari sobrang init ang temperature niya, yung parang hindi ice bath siya, yung parang pagpuna sa kanya
Yeah,
with
sponge bath.
sponge bath with ice. So, para lang mag-stabilize yung kanyang temperature. Tama
Yeah,
ba siya?
we call it tepid sponge bath. Pero actually kahit hindi na siya yung totally ice talaga kasi minsan mas magiging
Sobrang lamig
irritable yung
naman,
bata
oo.
Actually yung galing faucet lang na water,
Okay
no,
na
it's
yun.
okay. Para lang talaga, tapos buong katawan yung pupunasan mo sa kanya para lang mapapaba natin yung temperature niya.
I think nawala na sa practice yung may lalagyan ng alcohol.
Ay,
you know?
ginawa yan ng parents
Ako
ko.
din,
na,
parang
How do
Asa-
they do that?
Kasi, ewan ko. siguro
Pinapatay
kasi-
nila yung bacteria.
Feeling nila,
Oo.
may mga
Pero
sa
sobrang
surface.
konti lang naman yun. Pero ngayon ako, naghahanap din ako ng basis on that scientific way. Wala din ako
Wala,
makita. So,
no?
hindi ko na siya inuulit sa
How about
parents
Vicks,
ko.
Doc?
Vicks, siguro yung scent niya pwede, no? Pero hindi pa siya ganun ka-studied.
Established.
Oo,
Okay.
yung
So yung
ganun.
kasi pag normally inuubo, sinisipon yung bata
Yeah.
Vicks sa dibdib,
Oo.
sa likod, sa
Oo.
dibdib,
Pero kasi
sa
it's
ilong.
it has a warming effect eh. Aminin nyo, kahit tayo, di ba? Kapag
Sa lonpas na ata.
Oo, di ba? Yung mga mental, di ba?
Yeah.
So, it can help, pero
Lalo na
kung
pag may sipon-sipon.
So meaning yung paglalagay ng Vicks sa ano bang tawag
Sa
doon?
water.
No, sa talampakan.
There,
hindi
And then
ko
you put
narinig
socks on
yan.
it. Kasi
Hindi ko pa
meron
narinig
ganong
yan.
practice na
Yeah,
parang
yeah.
pag may
Okay.
nagkasakit ka daw or may fever ka. Not for kids actually,
Oo.
for anyone.
Oo.
Yun, so makaka-relieve daw siya na. So hindi ko
Oh,
alam.
interesting.
So,
Ngayon
hindi,
ko lang
so
narinig siya.
ano siya, hindi
Oo.
siya scientifically proven.
Oo nga. So, siguro yung mga
Yeah.
practices na, alam mo yun, kami, pag may na-encounter kaming ganyan, galing kay lolo-lola, hindi mo siya di-dismiss. Alam mo yun, na you respect it kasi sociology-wise man na
Correct.
ipasa.
Oh wait, I have a question.
Oh,
Sorry, suob.
Are
Are you a fan of suob? Yung, ano ba tawag doon? Ano ba? What do you call that? Yung steam,
yung steam inhalation. Tapos magpupumot ka pa, no? Actually, yun din, undergoing studies pa siya. Hindi pa siya ganun ka-established. Pero kasi, meron siyang benefit. Kung minsan, may mga nagsasabi na nag-i-improve sila kasi pinapagaan niya yung pasok ng
That's
air sa
right,
nose.
oo.
So, if nakaka-benefit, why not? Pero, I always advise my parents na ingat sila doon kasi yung sobrang init. Minsan, sobrang nalalapnos yung mukha ng bata, kawawa, no? So, minsan, di, mami, wag na lang. Or, minsan, we do the NSS nebulization na lang, no? Yung NSS water, yun na lang yung inebulize mo. Kasi minsan, baka mamaya mas marami pang harm na magawa.
Correct.
Yun.
Okay, kasi ako ginagawa ko yung suob. Pero at a certain, parang may time lang. Let's say, parang
Nabuso
7
yun ng
minutes.
COVID
Oo,
eh.
7
Oo.
minutes lang. And then after that, done. I'll just put some salt.
Salt.
Para ma-clear lang yung airways.
Na-experience
Pero
ko din yan.
kahit ako, pag may sakit, ginagawa ko siya. But,
In relation to that, isa pang question ng mga mami, yung mga nauso na, ano ba, dehumidifier?
Oo,
Yes,
mga-
yes.
Anong tawag doon?
May mga essential
Oo,
oils.
essential
yun.
oils, oo.
So, meron kasing yung iba, dehumidifier, parang nandyan lang yung equipment. Wala naman siyang nilalabas. So, okay lang.
okay.
Yung iba, sabi ko sa mga parents, iwasan nila yung may mga lumalabas sa smoke na tapos may mga amoy.
Right.
Kasi minsan, may mga bata pala na sensitive sa amoy, may allergic rhinitis sila, kaya pala lalong nag-ubo sipon.
Trigger.
Yun, no? So, lagi ko naman sinasabi, so, check nyo, ano yung nag-work sa inyo? Ano nag-work dun sa bata?
sorry, may another question na
Yeah.
naman ako. Kasi na-mention mo yung allergic rhinitis. Bakit ang dami ngayon ng mga allergies na lumalabas sa mga bata na we don't have it as a kid? Ako.
Just like the autism.
Yung autism. But anyway, yung allergic ka sa like a scent of a flower, for example, o peanuts. Kasi dati naman, kahit
Oo,
ano
no,
kinakain
nung
ng mga
bata tayo,
bata. Oo,
diba?
diba? Pero ngayon,
Oo.
parang
Ang dami.
makaamoy lang ng something, may food lang na may konting...
Very sensitive na yung mga
kahit nga
katawan
egg,
ngayon.
diba? Merong egg intolerance. So, ano kayang cause nun?
Ano siya, siguro kasi nga, kung ikukumpara natin noon, no, yung mga klase ng pagkain. For example, fast food. Hindi naman ganun kadami yung fast food. And hindi tayo ganun ka lagi na nagfa-fast food. Ngayon kasi yung mga pagkain, yung mga allergens, kumbaga readily, nandyan na lang sila sa environment. For example, yung nangyari nung pandemic. Nung pandemic, nakulong sila. Nakulong tayo, nakulong yung mga bata. So, hindi sila exposed sa mga soil, na paglalaro. Ayun, nung bata tayo, di ba? Lalaro tayo sa
Yes.
soil. Nag-ano tayo, bubungkal tayo ng lupa. Yung mga kids nowadays, nasa loob lang ng bahay. They use their tablets. May mga toys sila ng mga automatic na ganyan. So, kapag lumalabas sila dun sa mga comfort zone sila, nag-overreact ngayon yung katawan nila. No? So, doon, papasok na ay, sensitive na sa amoy ng ganito, sensitive na sa lasa ng ganito. For example, sa food allergies din. Ngayon kasi may na-encounter ako mga practice na, for example, 7 months na baby. Doktora, yung daddy niya allergic sa shrimp, sa fish. So, 1 year old na pala yung bata. Simula ng doktor, hindi ko siya binigyan ng fish, hindi ko siya binigyan ng shrimp. So, kawawa naman ng bata. Kasi parang nandun yung notion na kapag may allergy si
Relationship
ganito,
sa
baka
food.
magkaroon yung bata. Pero kami, we always tell them na ang konsepto na kasi ngayon when it comes to allergies, yung desensitization. Kapag may na-encounter ka na, nag-react ng konti sa chicken, you don't remove the chicken forever. You will constantly expose dahan-dahan yung bata doon para ma-desensitize siya to the point na hindi na siya mag-overreact in the future. So yun, yung mga ganung practices, nakaka-contribute siya sa mga overreacting immune system natin ngayon.
Okay, that's very nice.
Affirming to that. Siguro if I may add din, no, considering that si Miss Leslie was able to bring up bakit meron tayong mga ganong health concerns right now that are more pressing as compared to, years back. Tama talaga yun because of the lifestyle that we have right now. Because may mas marami yung fast food, mas marami yung mga processed food, marami tayong mga tinatawag na pro-inflammatory,
Yeah.
'di ba, Doc, na triggers. And whenever we say pro-inflammatory, these are food that are high in sugar, high in fat, ganyan. So, yun, isa yun sa mga dahilan, and it can alter, no, or it can damage yung gut health natin over time. And take note na 70 to 80% po ng ating immune system is housed in the gut. Ayan. So, si Doktora, if I may mention, no, shout out, Doktora Pinky. Recently kasi,
right.
na-bring up niya rin, she attended a convention. And in that convention, na-notice, na highlight yung topic about autism. And one of the reasons daw bakit ang taas ng rates ngayon ng mga pinapanganak with autism, it's because apart from the basic nutrients ng isang mom, even before conceiving, there is really the need for omega-3 intentionally. So, kumbaga, saan ba natin nakuha, Dok, yung omega-3, di ba? Salmon,
Fish.
walnuts,
Yeah,
avocado,
fish
which is
oil.
not common in a typical Filipino diet. Ang maganda po kasi with omega-3, these are anti-inflammatory. So, panlaban siya sa pro-inflammatory.
So it has to be introduced to your body before you even conceive.
Yes, opo. Kasi lalo na yung pinaka, di ba, Dok, yung foundation for the formation ng brain and the spinal cord, nabubuo yan even before nagkaka-idea yung mom, ay, buntis na pala.
Yeah, oo.
Ganon, few weeks before. Kaya, really have to be intentional about optimizing our gut health and making sure that our nutrients related to immune system is there. Parang yung depensa natin, di ba, Dok? Yeah. Alright.
Nice. Ang daming kong information yan. Parang mag-uwi ako ngayon.
Inhale, everyone. Ayun. So, siguro talking about, kanina na-bring up din yung malnutrition. Tama yung sinabi ni Doc,
Yeah.
actually, that we have two phases of malnutrition. The pwedeng underweight, pwedeng overweight, ganyan. Siguro, Doc, if I may ask, among the kids, kamusta yung nila, yung nutritional status nila? Mas marami ka bang na-encounter na underweight or stunted or overweight or obese, ganyan? And how do you manage in terms of, making sure na, kung may sakit, mas mabilis mag-recover, mga ganyan.
So, ayun, madami talaga siya. Madami sa clinic. So, when it comes to malnourishment, kung hindi maliit yung bata, over naman. Pero most common na bibring up sa amin ng parents, Doktora, mahihinang kumain. Doktora, maliit. Doktora, bakit hindi siya kasing laki nung kapitbahay namin ganitong age? Kasi yung other part, yung pagiging overweight, obese, minsan kasi hindi nila readily vino-volunteer yun eh. Yun, personal experience ko. Na kasi, nandun yung notion na kapag malaki yung bata, pag mataba yung bata, healthy to.
siya.
Oo, may advantage siya sa iba. Kaya minsan, nakikiramdam kami na bothered ba yung mommy? Kumusta yung attitude niya towards it? Ano ba siya, iniisip ba niya na healthy yung anak niya or not, ganyan. Dun sa mga maliliit na bata, no, yung mga undernourished, we have growth parameters in the clinic. Kasi minsan, sasabihin ng mommy na maliit siya, pero yung pala, subjective lang niya yun, observation. So, we always make sure na, I do in the clinic, I have a growth chart. Kukunin ko yung weight niya, yung height niya, pati head circumference, I graph it. Then, I assess, tingnan ko na, oo nga, no, mababa. At risk siya. Then, I discuss with the mother. Yun kasi dulot pa rin talaga to, lalo na ako nga, nag-practice ako after the pandemic. Dulot pa rin siya talaga ng pagkakulong nila sa bahay, no. yung availability ng papadeliver na lang ng fast food, no? Tapos yung parents online yung working nila, online work sila, so hindi sila magluluto, ganyan, or magluto sila, hindi na balance yung diet nila, yung yung play ng bata, no, yung gadgets, naka-gadget sila, so hindi na sila nakakakain ng
On
ayos.
time.
So yung mga nakikita namin ngayon sa clinic, yung mga pandemic babies na less than 5 years old, maliliit talaga sila. So, on the other hand, yung sa mga, bigger kids naman, sila naman yung nasobra, no, napasobrang kumain, and nagkulang sa physical activities, okay? So, first step for me sa clinic nga is to screen, to assess, and then to explain to the parents na ito yung problem. Ako, approach ko dyan holistic eh. Hindi kasi pwede na, uy, maliit yung timbang niya, bigyan lang kitang vitamins. Kasi lagi hanapin ng parents sa'yo, Doc, anong vitamins? Ganyan. I can give vitamins, pero minimake sure ko sa kanila na vitamins is just one part of it. It's just the supplement. Ako, I always have five things na sinasabi sa kanila, and 5 things on my mind kapag ina-address ko yung problem. First, yung food. Eat. So, I discussed them, what are the types of food, what are the kinds of food na dapat kinakain, no? So, hindi pwede na, kailangan i-highlight mo yung 7 food groups na laging present dapat doon sa meal nila. Pangalawa, sleep. Minsan, hindi lang puro eat yung hindi lang puro food pala yung factors. Yung sleep ng bata, mami, anong oras siya natutulog? Anong oras siya nagigising? Gaano kahaba yung tulog? We have this one lecture a few months ago na yung isang developmental pediatrician, sabi nga naman niya, ni-remind niya kami na dapat daw ang bata tulog 9 to 11 ng gabi. Kasi dun daw pinaka-active yung hormone na
Growth
nagpapalaki sa kanila, nagpapalaki sa resistensya. And nowadays, tanong mo yung mga tao sa bahay, ano oras natutulog yung mga bata? 11. Oo. Diba? Mag-gadget pa, magpe-play pa sila. Pero dapat 9 to 11, tulog daw sila para mag-grab nila yung opportunity na mag-grow sila. So, that's for the sleep. And then, third, play. Okay, maliit yung bata, pero malnourished siya. Pero tingnan mo yung ibang aspeto. Bakit siya maliit? Bakit siya stunted? Ano yung emotional factors na nakasurround sa bata? Meron ba siyang playtime? Lagi ba siya naka-gadget? Exposed ba siya sa ibang bata? Sinong caretaker? Diba? Available ba yung mommy and daddy to provide the emotional care na kailangan? And then, 4, yung vaccinations. So, dyan papasok na, malnourished yung bata, stunted yung bata. Kumusta yung immune system niya? Bakit? Kaya maliit? Kasi kulang yung vaccines niya, mahina yung resistensya niya. Okay? And then last, dun lang papasok si supplements. The vitamins, no? Ano yung kailangan natin? Kailangan ba natin ng appetite stimulant? So, interplay siya dapat nung 5. Hindi pwede kasi na yung isang bata, ang ganda-ganda ng vitamins, pero hindi pa rin siya lumalaki. Kasi yun pala, yung types of food, no? May ibang bata naman, ang lakas kumain, no? Yun na nga, naging obese na sila, naging overweight na sila. Pero when it comes to sleep, when it comes to vaccination, sablay, so sagitin pa rin siya. So, dapat balance siya.
Yeah. Ang galing.
Na-bring up ni Doc yung mga pagtangkad, ganyan. Doc, up to what extent ba yung okay?
Ay, nako.
May pag-asa kang tumangkad, ganyan.
Depende, sa growth plate kasi yan growth plate natin, di ba? Ako kasi, lagi akong puyat noon. Lagi ako nag-aaral tayo, di ba?
Actually, hinahanap ko, Doc, yung dahilan sa mga sinasabi niya na nasan ako doon noon.
Oo, so, kaya kailangan talaga yung first few years natin, yung tinatawag namin first 1,000 days of life,
yes.
no? Hanggang 5 years old nga, kailangan ma-maximize talaga natin yung
Very
nutrition
crucial.
natin. Yes.
That's why kids are considered actually part of the vulnerable group.
Yeah,
Diba, Doc? Kasama
oo.
ng elderly, pregnant
Oo.
women.
Kasi doon tayo pinaka dapat mag-intervene para yung future nila, masabi natin na well-child sila.
At matindi ang quality of life niyan. Impact, short-term and long-term, not just for the kid, but for the family members,
Yeah.
right? Kaya kailangan, talaga, pagtuunan ng pansin.
Yes. Habang bata pa lang. diba?
Yes. So, ayan, na-bring up natin kanina yung mga malnourishment and syempre malaking part dun yung food. How do we address this time? Sige, tanungin natin si Mom Shi. Meron bang mga particular, cravings, yung anak mo? Mahilig ba sila sa fruits, vegetables, and how do you address yung eating
Yeah.
healthy? Paano natin na ipaglaban yan?
Eto na nga. So, eto na nga mga Mars.
Ano ba yun?
No, I mean, I think all the moms would agree na ito talaga yung everyday struggle natin. Like, from waking up ng mga anak, ano yung healthy ba na pwede nating ipakain? Cereals ba healthy ba yon? So, I mean, other mga gusto nilang kain hot dogs. we know for sure na hindi siya healthy. Pero yun yung hinahanap ng mga bata, di ba? So, it's my everyday struggle kung anong ipapabaon sa kanila sa school. Number one, hindi fresh. Kasi, lulutuin ko na siya in the morning, tapos dadalhin niya for lunch, kakainin niya for lunch, and all that. So, talagang challenging siya for me as a mom. At the same time, my daughter, medyo ano din siya eh. Meron siyang certain type of mga gusto na kainin at a certain restaurant. Because we're used to going out.
Nagre-request talaga siya. She's
So, meron
vocal about
kaming, meron kasi kami, we always go out and eat out. So, medyo yung standard niya sa food, medyo mataas.
May level up.
Yung kasi, sanay siya sa restaurant food.
Okay.
Though, I would say, masipag ako magluto. My mom is a caterer. So, readily available naman lahat ng mga food din at home. It's just that, siguro yung preference niya mas doon sa mas tasty, mas pangbata na type of food. I think sa akin, binabalance ko siya in terms of like giving her yung pagkain niya ng junk. I'm guilty of that. Ginagawa ko siyang reward. I don't know if it's a good thing, but I'll tell her, you have to fill yourself with healthy food muna. And then I'll let you eat this, kunwari may gusto siyang
chips, ganyan.
Chips, ganyan.
Or mga
So,
desserts.
gusto ko kasi mabusog muna siya doon sa healthy na pagkain.
Para hindi
siya makarami doon sa, kasi
It's a good strategy, guys.
hindi ko kasi, hindi ko talaga siya totally matatanggal. I mean, I'll be hypocrite if I'll tell na talagang strict yung diet namin
That's the
sa bahay.
reality.
Oo, that's the
Talaga.
reality. And then, they're craving for this fast food and all that. Kahit naman ako, nag-crave din ako for that. I mean, spicy noodles, instant noodles.
Right.
Diba, we do sometimes. But, yeah, that's my strategy
One
with,
of the hacks.
yeah. Also, siguro, I limit yung stocks at home ng mga ganong pagkain. Kasi when it's readily available, ang daling i-grab and iluto. You know, mga instant noodles. So, before, part siya ng grocery namin. Kunwari, sa like 1 week, meron dapat stock kami ng mga instant na ganyan, mga canned goods and all that. So, ngayon, tinatanggal ko na siya sa option. So, para pag nag-crave, wala. So, hindi kami makakapagluto, right? So, I think that's one. And then, I'm also grateful for you kasi you introduced us to a well-balanced nutrition actually. So, since na-introduce mo sa amin yung meal planning, I think I have included them also. Kasi kung ano yung niluluto ko for Dennis, kinakain ko rin, kinakain na rin ng mga anak namin. So I think napakagandang practice siya na-incorporate din yung well-balanced meal for them. So, but also, on the side, meron ngang konti-konti. Kasi hindi ko talaga siya totally matatanggal sa kanila. It's like, I feel like I'm depriving them of their, childhood pagka hindi ko sila pinatikim ng, let's say, fried chicken or yung mga chicken nuggets and all that. But,
yeah, and actually, the exposure will always be there. And maganda na yung parents are really conscious about it. Kasi kung hindi man, let's say, sa bahay nila makikita, for sure makikita rin nila yan sa school. Makikita nila yan sa mga classmates nila. And I think what's most important there is that having the consciousness and discipline, yun yung mapasa nyo sa kanila na yes, okay, there are chips around, there are noodles around, there are, cakes and certain mga mamon around. Pero maganda yung sinabi talaga niya. And it's actually one of the things then that we advise, parents na yes, tama yun. Busugin nyo muna sila dun sa healthy stuff. Diba? Fiber-rich, prutas, gulay, complex carbs, mga ganyan. Right. And then, kung meron man, may tendency kasi na hindi nila ubusin. Diba? Diba? Isang chichirya. So, kung hindi sila gutom, probably that they might share it sa classmate nila. Right? Yung donut, dahil nga busog na sila dun sa pin-repair niyang baon na lunch, pwedeng i-share niya yung kalahati ng donut na lang sa classmate kasi busog na siya. Yun. So, that's one of the ways, no? Kaya, mga moms out there, share in the comment section.
Just to add lang din, I think na-mention mo kasi about the discipline. Somehow, meron na siyang discipline, my daughter, kasi like, she's used to having this small amount lang every time I give her, like, let's say, pancit canton. Instant pancit canton. So, she knows that ganun lang yung portion na ibibigay ko sa kanya. Sometimes, she would wish, Mom, or she would ask, Mom, can I have just one strand of noodles? So, I'll give her that. Pero that's it. I mean, after that, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-second bowl or whatever. So every time na wala ako and somebody cooks instant noodles at home, she would always ask for the same amount that I would give her. She never cheats kasi I know kasi she's asking for my permission actually. Mom, can I eat pancit canton like that? And then I only ate yung amount that you would give me if you're here. And I would say, yes, I'm so proud of that. Actually. Kasi though, she hindi niya ma-refrain yung sarili niya pagkain nun, but she knows her limits na hindi pwedeng only pancit canton or ano. So, yun.
Doon papasok yung importance ng ng may family routine kayo. May family routine kayo, meron kayong practices, tsaka yung modeling talaga na kailangan makita at maintindihan ng bata na bakit bawal to, bakit ito dapat yung kainin ko, no? Kasi mahirap na didiktahan mo siya, you should eat this, not eat this, ganyan, pero available naman siya.
Right.
Tapos yung sinabi niya, may guidelines ako nakita doon na use smaller plates. Totoo yun. Totoo yun. And may isa pa nga na strategy na yung mga serving plates,
Right.
tanggalin mo siya sa table.
Actually, I do that, oo. Sinuserve ko na siya ng naka-portion na.
Oo. Tapos, yun din, pag sa picky eating, no, kasi picky eating nowadays, talagang problem natin yan, no. May rule na, do not impose daw sa child yung clean plate rule na, ubusin mo yan, saidin mo yan. Mahirap. Kasi lalo silang nagkakaroon, lalo lang silang makikipaglaban na hindi siya ubusin or lalo lang silang mamimihikan sa pagkain. So, i-feed mo sila according, responsively, kung busog sila, kung gutom ba sila, no? So, yun. Those are the basic steps para i-address yun. Basta it always starts in the family. I would always ask my parents na, Doktora, hinang kumain, ayaw kumain. So, tatanungin ko siya, bakit? Ano bang meron sa bahay? Sino bang nag-aalaga? Ano bang problem? So, alamin mo muna ano yung problem, then you address it. Mahirap kasi na, dapat ganito. Gawin mo to, mami, gawin mo to, mami. Hindi siya kasi responsive, educating. So, kailangan alamin mo ano yung meron, ano sitwasyon sa bahay para ma-address mo yung buong problem.
Pero Doc, I have a question. Yung bang eating habits, let's say, hindi regular na breakfast, lunch, dinner yung kain ng isang bata. But frequent small meals, for example. Is that healthy?
Actually, mas advisable na we do it na, yung routine eating nila na fixed time. Okay? So, you have breakfast, you have snacks, you have lunch, you have snacks, you have dinner. Kaya nga, para ma-engrave sa kanilang yung routine na kain. Lalo na kasi kung paiba-iba yung time, minsan, kaya pala ayaw na mag-dinner kasi kakakain lang ng ganito ng merienda. So, yun. So, mas maganda, I advise my patients na do it routine para alam ng bata ano yung i-expect niya.
That's considered actually small frequent meals, no, Miss Leslie, yung kapag ka ganun yung format, breakfast, may konting AM snack, lunch, PM snack, dinner, yan, tapos may konting sa tabi. SFF, small frequent feeding.
Na naka-time, na naka-fix
na naka-fix yung time. Ayan. So, siguro in addition, no, yung mga hindi mahilig sa gulay, what we can also just suggest is creative cookery. Ayan. Siguro narinig niyo na yung mga puso ng saging, ginawang burger patty, something like that. Maraming mahuhusay naman ng mga Pilipino sa mga luto-luto. Ikaw ba? Like, what dish do you usually, may favorite? May ganun ba yung mga anak?
Oo naman, syempre. I mean, my daughter, mahilig siya surprisingly, mahilig siya sa kumain ng okra. Favorite niya ang okra.
Uy, bihira yun.
Oo, I know.
galing.
Si Dennis, hindi yan kumakain ng okra.
Special mention.
Okay. So, mahilig siya, kasi mahilig ako sa kumain ng okra. So, mahilig siya sa okra. And, I don't know, recently lang kumakain siya ng lettuce. Though not the whole salad, ayaw niya na may mga dressing, pero kumakain siya ng lettuce. Pero sa mga like Filipino dish, of course she likes sinigang. I think all the kids naman love the sinigang, the maasim sinigang. And then adobo, yung mga ganyan. Tapos, ano pa ba? Mga bistek. So, actually, medyo guilty ako dun kasi medyo yung preference niya, medyo salty, nandun sa salty na panlasa. So, parang medyo natatakot ako dun sa kidney, naman, di ba, problem. But anyway, feeling ko naman siya na stabilize naman siya with eating yung mga gulay. Fruits. Actually, fruits, mahilig din naman siya. Apples, banana. And I always make sure na in their lunch bag, meron ding mga option for fruits. So, kung may grapes yan, or may apple, tsaka may banana. So, yan nga, may parang cupcake, pero meron ding banana. So, parang binibigyan ko siya ng option kung anong kakainin mo. But, I would always encourage her to eat the healthy ones first. So, ganun.
Doon papasok yung creativity ng mga mommies eh. Pag kasi minsan, pag sinabi ng bata na ayoko ng gulay, ayoko ng ganyan, minsan may na-encounter ako mga parents sa clinic na, ayaw mong gulay pero kumakain ng lumpia. So, ang ginawa, yung lumpiang Shanghai. So, ang ginawa, yung mga carrots and
diba?
Nilagay
sa lumpia. So, amazing. Yun yung mga bagay na tatanong mo sa kanila, ano ba yung mag-work sa inyo? Ano ba yung magiging creativity ni mommy pagdating dito? Ayun, tapos magugulat ka na lang na napapakain naman nila, no? Hanggang sa masana yung bata.
Yeah, siguro dun, just to add dun sa creativity, like I mentioned kanina, mahilig kami kumain sa labas. So, ang naging practice siguro namin, let's say meron siyang nagustuhan na chicken wings sa isang restaurant. I try to imitate that. I try to do that at home. Kasi parang mas alam ko na I prepared it myself. Less yung nilagay ko na, let's say, salt or whatever. Ganon. So, ginagaya lang namin kung ano yung mga nabibili namin sa restaurant. So,
Mas controlled nyo
mas
din.
mas
Actually,
controlled
yung
yung
mga nilalagay,
correct.
diba?
Pero na-amaze ako dun sa mga moms na nagpe-prepare ng bento box. Yun kasi creativity, di ba? Ang creative nila na making making a lot of, character shapes.
Actually, it works yun. It helps siya. For example, ako meron kasi akong alagang pamangkin sa bahay. Ako parang ako may anak. 3 years old siya. So, inuwi siya sa akin from Abu Dhabi. Nito lang December. So, ang hirap niyang pakainin kasi ngayon typical na yung parents kasi nag-work abroad, ganyan. Tapos, picky eater talaga siya. First step na nag-work sa akin, kasi baby girl, binilang ko siya ng pink na plates, pink na spoon and fork, tapos may sarili siyang table and chair na para yung kain experience niya, i-anticipate niya. So yun, those things na kailangan mo ma-discover. At saka yung rule na patience talaga. Huwag mo siya sukuan. Again, may isang lecture kami before, sabi sa amin, pag sinabi ng bata na, ayoko niyan, pinakita mo ng isang food, bagong food, ayoko niyan, hindi niya gagalawin. Minsan, it will take 15 to 20 times na i-reject niya yan bago ka sumuko. So, just keep on offering. Huwag kang susuka na hindi niya porket sinabi na ayoko niyan, ayoko kainin yan, magi-give up ka na. So, kailangan mo lang laging ipakita sa kanya yung food na yun.
Yes. Actually, in nutrition, we have a term for that, no? We call it food jag. Yung tipong trip niya ngayon, bukas hindi. It's a common behavior of kids that guardians and parents has to understand na part talaga siya. Hindi siya parang problema lang ng anak mo at hindi mo lang siya problema. Problema talaga siya like that. It's part of a
Okay, I
child's
understand
behavior.
kasi she used to like some food before. Tapos ngayon, I don't know,
Diba?
nagsawa na siya
Nagsawa
kasi
siya.
parang ang daming best niya na
Iba-iba.
sigurong kinain. So
Yes.
parang ayaw na daw niya ng food na yun. I was like, okay, that's a surprise. Kasi before you used to like that a lot and you used to request for that.
Kaya yung sinasabi ni Doc na patience, that falls to
Oo.
addressing the food jag, which is a common behavior, food behavior ng mga bata. Yan.
Nice.
Dami.
Okay, ang dami ko natutunan.
Okay, so that
Marami rin
being
tayo
said,
natutunan kay Mami.
oo nga, actually, I learned from you guys. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So, siguro, to further elaborate yung pagkain, kasi concerned talaga yung mga gulay prutas na yan. And given also the modern agriculture right now that, we cannot really get all the nutrients from kahit kumain tayo, Doc, diba, ng pinakbet chop sa buong maghapon.
Yeah,
So, that's where your vitamin supplementation would come into place. Ano yung usually na basic nutrients na you advise po sa mga
Okay.
parents?
So yung pag sinabing basic nutrients, no. So diyan papasok yung mga vitamins and minerals. For example, the vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, we have zinc,
Yes.
no, we have iron, no. Pero the multivitamins, again, katulad nung sinasabi ko sa mga parents ko, those are just supplements, no. It's just one part of the process para ma-address natin yung health ng bata. But we do have certain indications for certain vitamins. For example, sa amin sa according to sa pediatric healthcare namin, yung iron, meron siya talaga indication. For example, for low birth weight infants, we start iron supplementation from 2 to 6 months. And then pagdating ng certain stage, for example, ng 6 months to 11 months, supplement again. Pero yun, 3 months na lang. Kasi yun yung time na nagko-complementary feeding na sila. Yung iba, hindi na masyado nagmi-milk, no? Bumababa na yung iron nila. So, we do advise supplementation. After that, 1 to 5 years old, 3 months again na supplementation. And then after that, kapag adult adolescent na, more than 10 years old. So, dapat yan, pag may makikita kami sa clinic na first-timer na mga teenagers, lalo na mga babae, sila yung mga nagre-regla na, nagme-menstruation. So, expected, bababa yung
Bababa yung
iron
iron.
nila. So, we start giving na the iron supplement plus folic acid. Ganyan. Another, the vitamin A. For sure, you're familiar with that also. Buti nga sa health center, binibigay na rin siya. Kasi there are really indications for that. Part siya ng preventive healthcare sa pediatrics. For those 6 months to 11 months, ganitong 100,000 IU, ibibigay natin siya 1 dose lang just to supplement the child. And then, syempre, after that, yung mga vitamin A containing food. For example, ano ba mga vitamin A containing food natin? Yung mga, di ba, yung mga good for the eyes, carrots, ganyan, yung makikita sa vegetables, leafy vegetables.
Mga orange colored usually.
Yeah,
mga
squash,
ganyan.
carrots, diba? After 1 year old, another supplementation. Zinc. Ngayon, zinc din. Familiar na rin kayo, di ba? Yung mga vitamin C, sinasama na siya sa zinc. Although, marami pang studies na ongoing doon sa talagang proven effects niya. Pero isa sa amin, sa pedia, isa doon sa guidelines sa amin, yung Pediatric Community Acquired Pneumonia Guidelines, strong recommendation siya talaga for the prevention of pneumonia. For the gastroenteritis, it's an adjunct pero ongoing pa rin yung mga studies. So vitamins, there are certain indications. For example, malnourished yung bata, of course we do recommend. Pero syempre, siya case to case basis. Minsan kasi may dadating sa clinic na, Doktora, bigyan mo ng vitamins yung anak ko, pero kita mo na overweight na siya, masigla, hindi naman sakitin. So sometimes you just have to explain to the parents na actually hindi naman natin kailangan as long as emphasize pa rin na the kid is getting the right kind of food. Buti na lang, ang maganda sa vitamins, kahit minsan kasi, di ba, may mga nagsiself-medicate na parents na hindi naman kailangan pero nagva-vitamins, iihi lang naman natin yun. Ilalabas lang natin yun, yung excess sa katawan. Huwag lang
Especially the
ma-overdose.
water-soluble. The
Like
B-complex,
vitamin C.
Vitamin C. Oo. That's why yung sinasabi ni Doc na right dosages, depending on the age, is really important.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes.
So, yes, and usually, I actually do advise, Doc, yun nga, vitamins, particularly the pharmaceutical grade ones.
Yeah.
Oo, kasi nga, yun, may mga kids talaga na medyo challenging still, kahit ano yung effort. But, again, hindi natin sila susukuan.
Yes.
In addition sa mga nutrients na nabanggit kanina ni Doc, like yung mga basic non-negotiable na binibigay ng mga pediatricians, given sa mga health centers, we also have to add on yung mga tinatawag na rin natin ng mga probiotics, concentrated sources of good bacteria. Okay, so hindi po ito yung mga nabibili lang sa grocery na mga drinks, no? Kasi syempre may mga sugar yon, ganyan.
Right.
What we recommend is yung concentrated talaga because, again, nako-compromise yung gut lining because of the different pro-inflammatory food, and at the same time, may ibang bata na nabibigyan ng antibiotics. So, antibiotics is okay kapag prescribean po tayo ng ating pediatrician. Of course, you have to follow that. However, syempre, kasama nun, may mga ilang good bacteria na namamatay. And so, we need to replenish the good bacteria that was lost over time. Because, para saan po bang good bacteria? Number 1, for nutrient absorption. So, lalo na kung pihikan yung mga bata, diba, konti na lang yung nakakain. So, gusto natin na talagang absorb ng katawan yan. Second is that if you have good amount of good bacteria, mas stronger yung ating immune system. And at the same time, bowel movement. So, may ilang mga bata na medyo hirap silang makadumi dahil nga konti yung consumption ng mga fiber-rich food like prutas, gulay. So, probiotics would also help. Also, omega-3, meron na rin kasing mga at the right dosage, ng mga fish oils, ganyan.
And meron pa for kids na
yes po, meron na din na ibibigay. So, that's for the brain.
Yeah.
Development. Take note na 60% ng ating brain is made out of fats, pero gusto natin yung healthy fats, right? So, we have 3 kinds of fats, right? The saturated, usually present sa mga red meat, dairy, which we should limit. So, from time to time lang natin kakainin. Ang kailangan talaga natin, sabi nga ng American Heart Association, love it, limit, lose it. So, ano yung love it? Love it, yung mga sige, dun na muna tayo sa lose it. As much as possible. Pero again, ito yung challenging, pero kailangan natin siyang ipaglaban. The way na pinapaglaban natin yung pagiging healthy. Trans fats. So, ito yung mga nakukuha natin sa fast food, which we consume from time to time. Guilty rin po tayo dyan. Pero yung panghuli ko sasabihin, yun yung pangontra actually, dito sa first, no? So, trans, again, coming from the processed fast food and yung mga sweets natin, that's what you have to lose. Limit is yung mga saturated, red meats, dairy, and pangatlo, ito yung love it, unsaturated
Yeah,
fatty
oo.
acids. So, yung mga healthy fats natin, your salmon, tuna, mackerel, flax seeds, chia seeds, avocado, walnuts, almonds, ganyan. So, yun yung mga very important for the brain. Eye din, makakatulong si omega-3 and at the same time, sa heart natin. Ayan, apart from yung mga sinabi ni Doc na water soluble, C, B, ADEK. Pag sinabing fat soluble, ADEK, yun yung acronym po natin, no? And of course, we also have some minerals like yung mga calcium, magnesium, mga ganyan. Kasi, syempre, nag-grow yung mga bones ng mga bata. So, anything na mga nag-grow na particular organs, brain, no, bones, etc., immune system, may mga kailangan talagang concentrated nutrients na kailangan tayo dyan. There you go.
Nice.
Sa
Very
eye health pala.
informative.
Ayan, oo, na-mention niya yung eye health. Actually, I've been, gusto ko sanang mas mag-focus doon kasi my daughter, meron siyang, naka-glasses siya at 10 years old. So, we just found out na malabo pala yung eyes niya. Siguro mga mga 2 years ago. You know, she didn't even complain na malabo yung eyes niya. We just found out kasi she couldn't read a sign from afar. Like, we thought na parang nagjo-joke lang siya or parang nag-iisip ko, marunong naman siya magbasa pero hindi niya mabasa. And then, so, we consulted an ophthalmologist and then sabi nga na parang, yun nga, lumabo yung mata niya so meron siyang myopia. So, yung nearsightedness, right? Yeah, so that's her case. I'm guilty of that. Growing up, exposed talaga siya sa gadgets, you know, parang, so yeah, as a mom, parang naging babysitter natin yung mga iPads natin and gadgets, panonood ng YouTube. So, I'm guilty of that and I'd like to know kung nare-reverse ba siya. Like, let's say if I feed my daughter with so much vitamin A, mare-reverse ba yung eyesight niya na pwede bang mas mag-improve with of course the help of the glasses now, or ganun na talaga siya? What do you
Ayan.
think?
So, para kasi masabi natin na talagang mag-normalize siya, katulad lang din ng the cause of why lumabo yung mata, diba, Doc? Because of screen time, can be genes also, food, etc. It's multifactorial. And so is kung paano mo siya i-address. I think if an ophthalmologist you would ask, kung wala pa kasing established study, diba, Doc, we cannot really claim kung possible ba siyang ma-reverse, but actually based on experience, I do have some clients, like for example, Doc, ito masyadong bata to, pero may ROP siya, Doc.
Oh, okay.
So, retinopathy of prematurity. So, pinanganak yung bata na blind. Okay? So, maraming mga patak-patak yung nangyari, routinary check-ups, etc. And ang hatol nung doctor niya, no, personally, is that parang ano na lang daw, yung laser, doctor,
Yeah,
Laser.
Laser siya.
18 years old. Pero since the mom is also aware about, you know, the nutritionals and all that, they, sila na yung nag-decision, doctor, like, omega-3s and all. So, siya.
So, nakatulong talaga din siya.
Yes, actually, normal na yung, 9 months, mag-1-year-old na yung bata ngayon.
Nice.
Hindi siya, as in, wala nang naging problem. But, hindi siya agad-agad. And case-to-case basis still. So, kung possible, there are some cases that it may happen. But, kasi, when it comes to healthcare practice talaga, ang usual kasing, kumbaga, natin, di ba, Doc, norm is that, as much as possible, kung walang established study, hindi siya 100% guaranteed for everyone.
Right.
But, is there a hope? Yes. Definitely.
That's
Sa
good to
mga
know.
pagkakataon ngayon, lalo na sa lifestyle medicine, right now, what we are talking about is the reversal, by the way, which is somehow hindi masyado pinapag-usapan, di ba, ng mga medicine studies back then, like the reversal of diabetes, cancer, etc. So, kung yung mga ganong complicated na mga sakit, is that ganun na yung stand ng lifestyle medicine right now, which is also the study that I'm going to right now. So I believe, when it comes to mga simpleng paglabo ng mata, may pag-asa tayo dyan. Labas.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good to know. Actually,
Yeah.
Good news naman is when I have her checked siguro mga few months ago, medyo bumaba ng konti. So baka dahil nilimit din yung paggamit niya ng gadgets
Yeah.
kasi may may awareness na kami na yun yung naging cause. But yeah, guilty ako na hindi ko pa rin siya napapakain ng madaming vitamin vitamin A rich food. But I think yung eye problem or yung eyesight, ano lang siya, one of the effect ng gadgets. Doc, na-mention na natin kanina, 'di ba, yung mga mental health and development, that's another factor. Ano bang what would you tell the parents pagka too much use of gadget talaga yung mga
oo.
anak nila?
So, lagi sa preventive care, no, lagi namin hina-highlight talaga yung problem sa screening time, gadget use. Actually, even before the pandemic, may nilabas na ng mga studies on that na why parents should avoid giving too much screening time. Ganyan, di lalo na nung dumating yung pandemic kasi talaga nakulong sila sa bahay, puro gadgets yung hawak nila. So, apektado talaga yung 4 domains ng development ng bata. The motor, socio-emotional, no, the cognitive, yung brain functioning nila, and language. Actually, most dramatic nowadays na ilalapit sa amin ng parents, yung linguistic development talaga na papupunta sa clinic na, Doc, hindi pa siya nagsasalita, ganitong age. Doc, hindi siya nagre-respond sa name calling, ganyan. And then, by reviewing, isa pala na factors talaga yung gadgets lang yung hawak ng bata all throughout, simula pag nasa bahay, pag nung pandemic times, ganyan. So, naapektuhan lahat yon, no? Delay mag-walk, delay mag-play, delay magsalita. So, kaya important na talagang i-discuss yun sa parents. Kasi nga, katulad ng sinasabi natin na, ba't nung panahon natin, wala namang mga autism, wala namang mga language delay.
Yes.
Ano bang meron tayo nun? Brick game. Di ba? Ngayon kasi, yan, ang bilis na ang bilis na ng technology, puro gadgets hawak nila. Magulat ka, 2 years old, marunong mag-swipe, no? 18 months.
Marunong mag-cancel
ganyan.
ng call, you know?
Yeah. So, lahat, yung 4 na domains na yun, apektado talaga. Academic performance, temper, the way they relate to other people, yun. So lagi ang intervention diyan as early as 6 months, no? Yung kasi 6 months nagsa-start tayo mag-feed, 'di ba? Complementary feeding. Nandun na agad yung advice na don't let them eat while watching TV. Don't make them subo tapos nakatingin sa YouTube. As early as that, no? Yun yung pinaka-formative years na makapag-intervention tayo. Kasi meron namang iba, sabi nga doon sa isa kong na attending lecture, maswerte na kapag yung bata na nahilig mag-gadget pag more than 5 years old na siya. Versus sa isang bata na less than 5 years, doon nagfo-form lahat brain development, language. So, yun yung mahirap habulin.
Diba?
Okay.
So, basically, Doc, how do you see right now sa mga patients ninyo yung impact short-term and long-term for those na talagang mga parents and kids na na-live out nila yung sinasabi nating holistic lifestyle? And
Oo.
ano yung role doon ng isang pediatrician?
Yun. So, yung word na holistic, it's very important. Every time I go to the clinic, kailangan yun yung at the back of my head, the term holistic for the short-term impact and the long-term impact. For example, papasok yung patient sa clinic mo, sasabihin ni mommy, Doktora, may ubot sipon siya. For doctors kasi, mabilis na yun history, assessment, meron kang upper respiratory tract infection, I give you this medicine. Madali na yun pagdating sa aspect na yun. Pero, the more question is, if you want to be holistic, kailan pa siya may ubo? Madalas ba to, mami? Bakit kaya siya laging may ubo? Baka itong batang ba to ay katulad yung sa growth parameters natin, maliit ba siya? O obese ba siya? Overweight ba siya? Bakit siya laging may ubo? Kumusta yung vaccines niya, no? Anong meron sa bahay? May nagsusmoke ba sa bahay? Yung sa bahay ba? Maalikabok ganyan. So, the diagnosis and the management shouldn't stop dun sa pag-prescribe mo ng gamot. So, you have to educate them na ang target natin, hindi kita mapagaling ngayon kasi that's short term. Ang target natin, hindi ka babalik-balik sa kliniko na maya't maya may ubo-sipon ka, yung pala, kaya pala lagi may ubo-sipon, asthmatic na pala yung bata, kailangan na pala ng maintenance, may primary cox infection na pala, yung mga tinatawag na tuberculosis sa bata. So, we have to address the root cause. Dun papasok yung preventive care and the maintenance phase. Maintenance phase, okay, gamutin kita ngayon, magreseta ako, and then after, hindi kita, alam mo yun, kailangan may relationship ka na, let's see each other after ganitong days, ha? Okay, napagaling mo na yung ubot sipon niya. Mami, let's see each other after 1 month. Tingnan ko kung nag-grow ba siya ng maayos, kumusta, may problems bang encounter. So, that's the holistic approach on it. So, hindi lang short-term yung relationship nyo, long-term. So, magugulat kami, mga parents, ba't ka nandito? May sakit pala. Ayun pala, magpapacheck up lang. Well, baby check up lang, no? Gusto lang mag-check ng height. Yeah. So, yun. So, the relationship. Kaya nga dun papasok yun, di ba? Kanina sa intro natin na, it's good ha, na your doctor is your friend for the long-term impact talaga, for the health of the children.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just to add, kasi na kanina pinag-uusapan natin dun sa cafe area na pediatrician, yung patients nyo is from newborn until 16 years old.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah,
18 pa
18.
minsan,
So,
oo.
basically, kayong katuwang talaga ng mga parents pag-raise ng mga children. More than, same ng partner, as a partner, kayo talaga yung katuwang namin. Kasi, of course, you will guide us dun sa tamang medication na hindi kami familiar. And I strongly believe that we really should have a strong and very good relationship with our pediatrician. Like I mentioned, it's a blessing that my pediatrician is also my friend. And kasi talagang pang long term siya. And importante na siguro from newborn hanggang mag 18 years old siya, isa lang talaga yung doctor mo. Kasi para nakikita niya yung development, yung progress, alam niya yung history. Kasi mahirap yung papalit-palit ng doctor. Every time na magkakasakit siya, explain mo from the start, ano yung history and all that. And and I'm grateful na share mo yung mga insights mo sa amin. And at least na somehow na-validate din naman na meron pala akong tamang ginagawa as a mom.
Oo naman.
So we're grateful for you doctors for being our
I'm grateful
partners.
for you also.
Yeah.
Marami rin ako natutunan sa ating mommy, sa ating
Thank
nutritionist. So, very, very informative.
thank you so much.
Yep.
No? So, you've heard it, guys. Holistic approach ang
Yes.
management ni
Yes.
Dr. Noren. Kaya naman, I'm sure you're very excited to reach her out. Can you share to our audience yung clinic hours ninyo, where they can find you?
Alright. So, basically, everyday naman ay mahahagilap ako sa mga clinic. Currently, I'm affiliated sa Metro Lipa Medical Center in Marawi, Metro San Jose Medical Center, and St. Gerard General Hospital in Rosario. So, triangle yung tina-travel ko. So, and also, I'm affiliated din sa mga diagnostics clinic. One here in Marawi, the MD Hub Chemtech Laboratory and Diagnostics. It's a family-owned, owned by Dr. Von Medina. He's an internal medicine, and her sister, a dentist, Dr. Karen Medina. So, the MD Hub, meron kami dong mga specialties like internal medicine, dentist, pediatrician, may OB, din kami doon OB-sonologists, and laboratory. It's a laboratory and diagnostic. So you can do your blood test there. We have X-ray and ultrasound. So sa mga taga-Lipa, Marawi area, no, as far as Tanawan, you can visit our MD Hub if you want to do a holistic checkup, di ba? Also, I have this one din sa StanMed Base View. It's owned naman by Dr. Stanley Sevillano. He's an internal medicine also, and his wife, Dr. Heidi Sevillano. So, it's located in Base View. So, again, diagnostic center din siya. So, katulad nung sa MD Hub, mga laboratories where you can do your CBCs, workup, X-ray, tsaka ultrasound, meron din doon. So, actually, if you want to hanapin ako, you can just search my name sa Facebook. Message nyo lang ako.
Social media.
It's a pleasure to have you, Doc. Kasi ang busy ng schedule mo. Everyday may check-up. Ang dami mong pinupuntahan. So, thank you so much for gracing
It's okay. Thank
our
you din.
podcast.
Very charming.
I know.
And once again, thank you so much for gracing our 5th episode. Guys, should you have further questions or any health topics that you would like to suggest, feel free to comment down below in any of our social media platforms. So,
All right. Until
any
next
parting
time.
words to our moms, probably?
Well, I hope madami tayong takeaway for today's
Yes.
episode and expect for more that relatable to everybody. So, thank you so much and I'll see you on the next.
Thank you.
Bye!